24 states have a city named after Christopher Columbus, but only one has it as its state capital. That's right here in Ohio. Today we are inside Columbus Square Bowling Palace for the Pilgrim's Ohio Classic. Now the five with a shot today include the number 5 seed E.J. Tackett, regarded by his peers as the best bowler on the planet. Number 4, Chris Vye, he's enjoying a home game. He lives 20 minutes away. Third seed, Spencer Robarge, is the hottest rookie on the tour in his second show already this year. Number 2, Hanrahan, is a fan favorite. He fuels off the crowd's energy. And the number 1 seed, Ryan Barnes, has set a new PBA record of highest scoring average ever in qualifying for the show at 254 over the 36 games. Now he has one win. If he wins one game, it's his first title. Hello, everyone. Alongside Kyle Sherman, I'm Rick Allen. E.J. Tackett, 5 of the 7 shows this year he has been on, but he hasn't won. Is today the day?
Yeah, Rick, EJ's been bowling amazing, and I think the key today is that the last elimination round, he shoots 280, 289, and you could see him just flip into a different gear. And today, he's going to have to channel that gear if he wants to climb this ladder.
And he'll have to climb the ladder, run the ladder. But there's another storyline, redemption. You know, last Sunday in the Masters, he was going up against Boog Kroll, had to throw 2 strikes, didn't. Lost by 1 pin from that major. Well, also redemption. The Rookie of the Year from a year ago went up against the Player of the Year in E.J. Tackett, and E.J. Tackett won that one. Can Ryan Barnes do the redemption here today as the number 1 seed? Take a look at what Ryan has already done this week. Look at his rounds of qualifying and the elimination rounds. He has set that record, 254 over 36 games. Unbelievable. Let's hear from the number 1 ranked bowler, and he is standing by with Taryn Hatcher.
Well, Rick, thanks for showing just how superhuman Ryan has been all week. No pressure here, Ryan. But what's been working for you throughout the week that you're hoping to carry over into today?
Really just keeping my process simple. They're pretty easy, so keeping it simple. The reps did a great job this week going pair to pair, and it was a pretty simple game plan.
And, of course, with Ryan, he brings his parents, 2 Hall of Famers, to the house, Chris and Linda. I heard Chris has been staying with you throughout the week. Did he give you any advice as you're looking for your first title here?
Go out there and be you. We obviously talked through some lane play strategies and some other stuff, but go be you was his main thing.
And you told me your mom, she's more the sports psychology side of things. 1 seed means that you're sitting over there thinking for a long time. Did she give you any kind of skills to help deal with that throughout the day?
Yeah, we talked through some breathing stuff and some other mental game things, but I don't want to give away any secrets. So.
Okay, so we'll check in on Ryan's breathing throughout the day. But Ryan, for now, thank you for the time. Congratulations on a heck of a week. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Taryn. All right, match number 1 has Chris Vye going up against E.J. Tackett. Let's hear from the players.
I'm Chris Vye from Black Lake, Ohio. I'm E.J. Tackett from Bluffton, Indiana, and I'm ready to take on the task of running this ladder today.
Those guys color coordinated today, too. Wearing the same colors, it looks like. The higher seed always gets to choose who goes first, and Chris Vye has said, E.J., you're up. You'll take on that left lane first. And he strikes. That was a common theme all week long. We've talked about how big numbers have been put up there by a lot of bowlers. The one thing that I think people need to understand is the consistency of a pro, how good they are at hitting a certain spot on the lane, and in this case, 43 feet down the lane.
Yeah, it was all about striking and keeping the pace. This oil pattern, you give these best bowlers in the world a sliver, they're going to take advantage of it.
And that one very heavy on the head pin. And right away, he leaves the 3-6. Maybe a little frustrated when it left his hand.
Yeah, Rick, I think this is just first shot being on TV, little out of sequence for Chris here. See going high through the face, leaving the 3-6. Didn't love it off his hand, but first frame needs to spare it, stay clean.
And he spares. Want to remind you that if any of the pros on today's show bowl a perfect game, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register, visit gobowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. Chris Vi from just down the road has a couple pro shops here in the Columbus area, and hoping that he can get another win on the tour. Be right here in his hometown. On the left lane, he strikes.
Much better shot for Chris right there. You see the side profile. Bent elbow coming through the release. Actually feeds this ball to the dry. Goes through the pins perfectly. And if you're going to miss, the best time to miss, especially when you feel like you got to throw high scores, is that first frame. It's not hurting you too much. He stayed clean. We take a look at EJ's arsenal here, throwing the Venom Hysteria. This is actually the only ball in EJ's bag.
And he's going to leave the 4-pin. And shakes his head.
Yeah.
This week, he left the 4-pin 14 times and picked it up all 14 times.
Yeah, you can see EJ just giving his elbow a little shimmy there. Just didn't have a great release on it. Missed in. Fortunate just to leave the 4-pin.
And he'll pick it up once again. And he'll make his way back over to that left lane for his second frame here. The Dragon 47 feet.
Yeah, we take a look at this week's hole pattern, the 47-foot Dragon. It was a higher scoring pattern in qualifying. And the reason it was higher scoring is these strips right here. The players were able to manipulate these strips. It was a bit of a defined hook spot. Now, it was only 3 inches wide, but it was enough for the best in the world to take advantage of.
When you mentioned best in the world, there he is on that left lane, striking once again. So he follows his spare up with a strike. You mentioned 3 inches. These guys are aiming for a 3-inch strip on this lane.
Yeah, I mean, to these bowlers, they may think it's simple, but it's 3 inches trying to hit that spot 40 feet down the lane, and the pattern's always transitioning. So from pair to pair, they're moving. Other bowlers are bowling, manipulating the lane, but these guys were able to make changes so quick and keep their scoring pace high.
When you say changing, oil is being drugged down the lane a little bit further. Let's take a look at In the Bag, brought to you by Storm, the standard for those who demand the best. We are the Bowlers Company.
Yeah, Chris throwing an Ion Pro Solid. You can see the hook rating there at 8.5, middle of the road. This is actually one of the 3 balls that Chris threw all week. He also threw the Bionic and the Rocket AI a bunch, but he tended to use this Ion Pro Solid on the fresh, keeping that same strategy today in the TV finals.
Trying to add to the double here. And he does. 3 in a row for Chris Vi. And now you see Chris Vi, the advantage, the max score at the end there, 290 to 280. That is if they strike out from here.
And that's why, Rick, that miss in the first frame isn't too bad, because he can still shoot 290. If he would have missed in the third frame, he could only max out for 279.
And he strikes on the right side. EJ Tackett, his strike percentage this week, 70% of the time. And by the way, that's 9th best of the whole field. So pretty impressive. Ryan Barnes was leading that strike percentage at 77% of the time.
Yeah, the consistency that these players showed this week to strike game after game, no matter the scenario, no matter who they were following, extremely impressive. And like you said, Ryan, I mean, he led the way the whole time.
And Tackett strikes. We mentioned a lot of strikes this week. Well, we want to take a look at our Bowl TV highlights this past Wednesday. 4th round of qualifying. Francois Lavoie Yeah, Frankie broke the 6-game record with games of 290, 226, 300, 299, 299, 277. That was a total pinfall of 1,691 pins. He broke the record of Norm Duke from 1984 and Dave Wadka from 1998. Huge scores from Frankie Robarge.
Yeah, Rick, to touch on Frankie, it was a scoring pace we've never seen before, but something I've never seen. Bowlers were actually pulling up Bowl TV mid-block to watch what their competitor Frankie was doing on the other end of the bowling alley. I've never seen that before.
Couldn't believe it.
Could not believe it. Unbelievable round by Frankie.
Yeah. Now Chris Vi mentioned his second show this year. Up to try to keep this strike streak alive. He's working on 4.
Oh, boy.
Didn't like it the second it left his hands. But guess what? Another strike for Vi. Oh, boy, you heard out of his mouth as he let go of the ball, but he gets the strike. And right now, the advantage goes to Chris Vi. The guy who, if you yell OH here, everybody yells IO with him. And now in a little bit of a hole, but if no opening is given to him by Vi. And A.J. Tackett once again leaves the 4-pin.
Yeah, Rick, that looked like a better shot for E.J. on that lane. I'm starting to think his right lane is hooking a little bit more. I think he liked his release. Got it to the spot he wanted to down lane, about 7-8 board, but just came up a little high, leaving that 4-pin. He's going to have to make a little move on that lane next time he's on it.
So, again, the second time in this game he's left the 4-pin, and the second time he's picked it up. We talked about big scores, and I definitely want to make sure to talk about your big scores this week, Mr. Sherman. You averaged 240, and congratulations, 10th in this event.
Yeah, we dusted off the old striking shoes this week a little bit, and it was nice to be in contention. It was nice to throw some strikes. We came up a little short at the end, but I'll take it.
Well, I noticed you did a wardrobe change in the middle, so that was good.
Yeah, it was mid-block.
Okay, good work. As we see Tackett on that left lane, leaving the 10-pin. And the frustration continues for Tackett. That was the pin he left a week ago at the Masters, and that would have made him a Grand Slam winner if he was able to get the Masters. The 10-pin goes down. Take a look at other finishers from this week, as we mentioned you right there in that 10th spot. Prather in 11th. Graham Faw did a great job. He was a part of the USA versus the World event that we're going to talk about a little bit more at the end of this game.
Yeah, Graham, his last 2 games, shoots 258, 278. He was in the show and falls out because EJ shoots 280, 289. I mean, you couldn't do anything more if you were Graham, but EJ was just too much those last 2.
Yeah, really impressive. Chris Vi was asking, there was Deadwood. We had, after EJ had shot, a pin came out, was in the gutter. So they've cleared that, and now Chris Vi working on 5 strikes. And that's number 6. Chris Vi, maybe a little more comfortable, Taryn, that he's here in his home city.
Yeah, comfortable, but he said not too comfortable, thankfully. He mentioned it's nice to just be home for a week, know you're going to sleep in your own bed and have home-cooked meals and know where you're ordering food from or where you're driving to without needing GPS directions. He said in a season like this, the simple things like that, they really do refresh you. But he was worried he was going to be a little bit too relaxed, too comfortable at home. And he said thankfully throughout the week, he was able to just feel refreshed and locked in. And he feels like he's been able to lock into that competitive mode really well here at home.
And he strikes again. And he's home on Easter Sunday. By the way, happy Easter to everyone out there. But able to spend that at home with family is wonderful. And Chris Vi looking very impressive. Could be flirting with a 290 game here.
Yeah, we talked to Chris. He's very confident, believes he can beat anyone in the world. He's got quite the task trying to beat the best in the world out of EJ this first game.
Tackett strikes on the right lane. Yeah, Chris Vi mentioned he needed to stay patient. You know, even playing against the best player in the world in EJ Tackett, as long as he stays patient, he will be competitive against anyone.
You know, EJ threw that one a lot better in the last time on that lane. I think he got a little slow coming out of commercial break, got his legs under him there. Much better release, got the ball to go through the pins. Now, if you're EJ, you're in a big deficit here. You can still shoot 248, but this is a must-strike situation in the ninth.
And he rises to the occasion. Must strike, he strikes. But now, that means Vi has to have an issue, has to have a problem here.
EJ has been around the pocket the whole game, but that was the name of the game this week, was carry. Can you get your ball to go through the pins the right way? Can you repeat shots? Chris Vi so far, a little better ball reaction. Has the ball in hand, just needs to repeat.
Yeah, strike for Vi. And with that strike, he could close him out with 7 pins. 7 pins for Vi, and he takes down EJ Tackett.
Yeah, great shot here out of Chris to pretty much close the match. And not a bad way to start out your road to climbing the ladder. And man, EJ, another player that is just, I mean, Chris has 290 off the sheet against him.
And Vi able to strike on the left lane. The crowd knows it. There's Mom and Dad. Dad Craig, Mom Angie. You know what surprised me? Angie normally brings me cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and I haven't seen her yet for those.
They were over on the table over there.
Should we run over and talk to her at commercial break? Well, breathing a sigh of relief for Chris Vi. Pretty impressive run here, Taryn.
So, Rick, by the way, Angie did bring those cookies. Not only chocolate chip, she brought Snickerdoodle today, a special request. And also, so you know, Angie told me she has brought those cookies, baked them, and brought them as far as Indiana, Nebraska. They've been all over the Midwest. And contrary to popular belief, Chris did not buy her an industrial oven. I don't know who started that rumor, but she said she's just baking at home on a normal oven for all of us. So thank you, Angie.
Yes, thank you, Angie. I love Snickerdoodle. Oh, he gets the 10 to fall.
Great bowling all week, buddy.
And a 290 to take down EJ Tackett in match number 1 here in Ohio.
I was a couple more left with the eye.
Talking with the ball rep there. EJ will bowl out the 10th frame. Realizes that there's nothing he can do. This match got away from him, leaving those 2 4 pins. 100%.
And that's all it took. You know, Chris not giving him a whole lot of room. Obviously shooting 290. EJ with a strike here, going to be in the 240s. Great game, but Chris Vi, he looks comfortable today.
Yeah. Yeah, very comfortable. Says that he doesn't ever want to get too high, too low. Obviously wants to be as even keel as he can be. And that's not only for himself, but also his competitors. He doesn't want his competitors to think he's struggling or he's too high on his emotions. And EJ will strike out in 10th.
Thank you, Columbus. Thank you.
And a very gracious 5th place finisher there in EJ Tackett. Let's hear from him. After we take a look at the step ladder, that means Chris Vi goes up against Spencer Robarge in match number 2. And now, let's hear from EJ Tackett. He's standing by with Taryn.
Well, EJ, you've had a dominant run in terms of just the sheer number of shows you've gotten to here. And it seems like, I know you said it's a numbers game, and one of them is going to break your way. What do you think it is that last step for you here?
Well, I got to stop having guys bowl 290 and 300.
That's fair, EJ. Very fair.
That'd be a good start. You know, I bowled well. Obviously, I did something pretty special to get here, to give myself an opportunity to win this championship. Chris bowled a great game, and, you know, Chris is a good friend. I hope he runs the ladder now. But get ready for next week.
I was going to say, I don't know what kind of good luck chuck is coming off you, but eventually it's going to wear off and it's going to break your way. EJ, thank you for the time and a heck of a week for you.
Thank you.
Guys.
You talk about knocking on the door. These are the 6 events prior to today. So he's never finished outside the top 12. And he's been on, like I said, 5 shows already this year. And so just an amazing record already.
Yeah, EJ hasn't been able to break through, but everyone knows that he's the most dominant player. And, I mean, I would like to say if he keeps making them, he's going to win, but guys keep averaging 290 against him.
Well, again, that's EJ. He finishes 5th in this event. Chris Vi is moving on, and he will face Spencer Robarge. He's a two-hander. Guess what? We got a special two-hander joining us on the show next. Take a look at some of the alumni that come from Wichita State. You see Chris Barnes, Ryan's dad, 19 titles. John Rash, a Hall of Famer, with 18. Frankie Lavoie there, 6. I mean, there's so many great PBA players that have come out of Wichita State, including Spencer Robarge, who was a part of the 2023 national champion team also. And match number 2 has Robarge against Chris Vi. Let's have Spencer introduce himself.
My name is Spencer Robarge. I'm from Springfield, Missouri, and I'm ready to get this party started.
And now we have Spencer has chose to bowl first. So he's going to start on that left lane. And Belmo, you were out there yesterday. Is this a strategy move?
It could very well be. What we noticed with Jesper and Graham in the World versus the USA show yesterday was that left lane played a little tighter for them, and so the idea was there could possibly be more corner pins left on that left lane. So maybe Spencer's seen a little bit of that today as well and doesn't want to finish on that lane. We'll find out very soon.
Vi, after bowling 290, now comes up to take on Spencer Robarge. His only spare was in that first frame, and he starts off with a strike in this one.
Do you boys know what that's called?
A strike.
He's just bowled. He's just bowled an Andy Varapapa 300 game. So he bowled 11 strikes last game. He threw the 12th this one. It has a little name named after the famous Andy Varapapa.
Yeah, I think we need to show Rick at some point, Andy Varapapa.
You're going to love him, Rick. You're going to love him.
Well, when you showed me, I don't remember who the bowler was that dove over the foul line.
Oh, that was the
but never let
flop.
go. Yeah, the Pachuca flop. By the way, another strike there for Vi. And it's not ho-hum, is it? I mean, I'm talking to 2 guys who were involved in qualifying and elimination, and you guys are sitting here next to me. It's tough to do what these guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the advantage here for Chris is that he doesn't have to deal with another righties transition. He shot 290 the first game. He's going to be able to pretty much stay in the same part of the lane. He doesn't have another bowler messing him up. As we look at Spencer's arsenal here, he's still in a GB5 hybrid, middle of the road ball for him. Rings the 7 pin there.
It's quite interesting to see how different the left and the right is attacking this lane. With Spencer throwing this ball very, very firm, and he did all week. And then watching Chris kind of slow down and kind of loop it a little bit. I wonder if Spencer sees more of those corner pins like that, if part of the strategy might be just to slow down a little bit if the ball leaves another one.
Come on now.
Well, your favorite board games are now your favorite game shows. All new seasons of Trivial Pursuit hosted by LeVar Burton and Scrabble hosted by Craig Ferguson. That's every Thursday beginning at 8, 7 Central right here on the CW. You mentioned the corner pins. He left the 7-pin 48 times throughout the week and left the 10-pin 7 times throughout the week.
How many did he spare? All of them?
He missed the 7 twice. So those are the only times he missed a single pin. Another strike there for Robarge.
Yeah, we take a look. Jace, you mentioned the lefties having the left lane and the right lane different. Spencer actually using a different ball on that left lane to combat that radical outer limits. So he definitely sees something different in that left and right lane.
Yeah, I actually think Chris is seeing a little difference in his 2 lanes. I think he's using speed to control that more than ball change.
Another strike there. 3 in a row for Vi.
So just keep an eye on that number up the top there, 17.5, which was the speed for Chris.
And we look at some of the things that are favorites of Chris Vi. He loves sports cards. That's one of the things that when they go from week to week, from city to city, he'll find the card dealers and go in and see if he can find, that rare card. Always looking for something new as far as the sports world and that sports cards. And another strike.
Yeah, we see there, speed 17.5. This is going to be crucial for Chris to maintain and keep consistent if he wants to keep striking. To your point, Rick, Chris Prather and Darren Tang, every sports card place that is in the town we go to, they are there every single week.
And Robarge leads the 10. No, he doesn't. The 10 falls for Robarge.
Tony.
Oh, wow. That was a big strike there, Taryn.
Oh, yeah, it was. Okay, while Chris may love all sports and sports cards, Spencer is a bowling savant. Loves bowling and has since he was young. He said doesn't do social media, doesn't do TV, but when he's bored, he will watch YouTube videos of bowling matches from the 70s and 80s. He said he's full of useless bowling facts. I asked him what's the most useless one, and he said, did you know you can bowl a 299.5? And I said, excuse me? And he said, yeah, one time back in 1905, a man was bowling and he hit the top off a pin, but the bottom stayed up. So you can technically bowl a 299.5. There are 302 possible scores in bowling, and that is one of them. Who knew?
Who knew? Oh, no.
Errant shot for Spencer there. Jace, did you, that's something else you can strive for there, 299.5.
I've broken a pin before when I've sent a messenger, but it never stood back up. It still fell over.
It just broke.
Yeah, it broke, and Spencer's probably hoping that, that's the last bad shot for the day, because the way Chris is bowling, we saw EJ, gave him a couple of shots where he let the door in for Chris, and Chris never let him back in.
Picks the spare up. We talk a lot about stats. I've been giving you a few, and all our stats come from Lane Talk. If you want to take your bowling to the next level, head to lanetalk.com. So we mentioned that Chris Vi collects sports cards. I noticed your Air Jordans that you're wearing there, Mr. Belmo. You have a collection of those?
I do. I don't want to tell you how many because I'm embarrassed.
Oh! Definitely on the wrong side of the head pin there for Chris Vi. And he leaves the 3-6.
Yeah, if that's going to be your bad shot and that's going to be your leave, you kind of just accept it, take it, and move on and focus on the spare. Chris has bowled 17 great frames in a row, and, I think if he has one bad frame every 17, he'll be just okay today.
In qualifying, he left this once, and he picked it up. And he does it again here on the show.
Come on, back on, get shots here.
Talking to himself, and I'm telling you, Kyle, that's got to be something that is difficult almost out on an island out there by yourself, and you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, it's just you in the lanes, but you have all these people watching you. So you have to be able to give yourself some self-talk, keep yourself motivated, keep yourself locked in. That's what Chris is trying to do right now, stepping up in the 6th.
And he strikes in the 6th. So Chris Vi with the advantage. Again, that max score, 278 for Vi, 258 for Spencer Robarge. And this match is getting closer. Who will move up that step ladder? Will it be Vi or Robarge? And we're seeing Spencer Robarge getting the ball ready. You see the Ohio State bowling team back there in the background. Spencer getting ready to bowl. We talked a lot about Wichita State Shockers. Big strike there for Spencer Robarge.
Good call.
Yeah, take a look. Spencer's ball speed here, 21 miles an hour. That's extremely fast, Jace. I would say it's some of the fastest ball speed we see on tour.
And Spencer is incredibly great at repeating that. He's going to be around that number a lot. I think what we'll find, and why I said it was interesting to see if any corner pins left, is through qualifying especially, the lanes break down a certain way where it will slow the ball down in the back half of the lane naturally through transition. On TV, different environment, may not slow it down, hence the reason why I think he's gone to the same ball on both lanes now.
There's the flames from the 21.4 miles per hour and that rev rate, 520 for Spencer Robarge. We talk about child prodigies, and I mean, we've mentioned that Chris Vi started bowling when he was 18 months old, but we haven't really brought up Spencer Robarge, how impressive he was as a junior bowler. He holds the records for 300s and 800s. And there we see Vi striking again. As I mentioned, the Barnes family sitting waiting to see Ryan coming up, and he is on the practice lanes, just about 10 lanes down, warming up, trying to stay warm for his title match. The number 1 seed has to win 1 game. He said he's never been the 1 seed before, so he didn't really know how to pace his time. Ryan Barnes wasn't sure what he should do.
Oh boy, jeez.
And oh boy, out of Vi, missing the head pin completely. A huge miss here for Chris Vi.
Wow, big miss for Chris, only getting 4 there. And that's the tricky part about this oil pattern. There's a defined hook spot there, but if you miss it to the right, like you just saw Chris do here, the ball really has no chance of recovery, especially early on.
He's a board away from that striking again. So you're talking about less than an inch down lane. It was a bad shot, but we have had recovery. He just needed it 1 board further left for a strike. If you miss it, well, you leave 4.
And he's going to get...
You leave 6. You knock over 4.
Yeah, he knocks over 4, leaves 2. So 4 and 4 for Vi, and an open frame, and as high scoring as we have seen all week long, an open frame could definitely kill you.
Yeah, max penalty Chris paid there, not only with the open frame, but only getting 4, working on strikes. Very devastating. Now Spencer looking to capitalize here on the Chris Vi mistake.
Get off it.
And he strikes. Get off it. What did he want it to get off of?
Yeah, he wanted it to recover from the friction, and he threw that a little firmer, maybe a little left off his hand, he thought. So he was hoping that it was going to recover down lane. But look at that. Look at the way he gets through the ball. The revolutions is high. The speed is high. If he gets that ball seeing that part of the lane, he is going to be trouble today to beat.
Yeah, Spence has so much power. When he can get his ball to go through the pins and mix them up, I mean, that's why he made the step ladder today.
Nice frame for Robarge.
Get there. Yes!
Oh! A little harder on that head pin, but he able to get the strike. And that is a huge strike in the 9th frame for Robarge. Strike of the game brought to you by Pilgrims. chicken can be boring, but Pilgrims is turning chicken nuggets upside down. I love it. You love it. Put it in a nugget.
Yeah, you heard Spencer say, get there, and it did. Absolutely destroying the pins. Now, Chris, max score 238, looking to answer.
And Messenger taking out the 9-pin.
Well, he's going to finish the game. He's got one plan. That is strike out and force Spencer to get the first one in the 10th to beat in this game. And even though the scoring pace has been higher this week, even though Spencer is striking, you just don't know what happens in one shot when you need it. You hit it a little too much, you get your hand around it too much, you leave something. So that's what Chris is thinking. I've got to force him to get the first in the 10th.
And he leaves the 10-pin. So the max score that Vi can put up now is 218.
Yeah, you're probably wondering, well, that hit the pocket, why didn't it strike? Well, the pattern today is the 47-foot dragon. So there's 47 feet of oil. If we could have seen that graphic again of the ball tracking, he missed his target left. So now the angle of entry has changed. And it just, with that ball, it just didn't give him the angle through the pins. That one will strike.
And it does.
And that's something Chris Vi did well all week, was get it to that spot. And really all the players that were on the show today, like you just said, Jace, if you got that ball in, you're a little more prone to leaving those corner pins. And that kind of kept you from shooting the high scores that were needed to get to the step ladder.
8 pins for Spencer, and he moves on up the ladder. He gets 9, okay. So that will do it as he leaves the 7-pin. He'll finish out the 10th, but he moves up. We know that. And that means he takes on Packy Hanrahan in the 3rd match. So Spencer Robarge is headed up the ladder. Packy Hanrahan, can he also do what the higher seed has done and take out the lower seed? That match is coming up next. Getting ready for this, the 3rd match, facing off the number 2 seed against the number 3 seed. This time we have Packy Hanrahan out of Wichita, Kansas, taking on Spencer Robarge out of Springfield, Missouri. And let's hear from Packy Hanrahan as he will introduce himself.
Packy Hanrahan from Wichita, Kansas.
Well, that was short and sweet. Interesting. So Packy is the higher seed. He's going to choose to bowl first, start on that left lane. Somebody here that's cheering him on is the Masters champion. Packy strikes on the left lane to start off with. And he pointed to the crowd. He loves the crowd to get raucous. Even when he's bowling, he's okay with them making noise.
Yeah, Packy is a man of the people, wants to get the crowd behind him, wants to get this place loud. And I think, Jace, is that going to add some extra pressure to Spencer?
I think it'll just help Packy feel a little more comfortable.
Oh, that's got to hook a lot.
And it did. Hook a lot. It does. Taryn.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Packy and Spencer, really almost complete opposites in the sense that we mentioned Spencer not online, doesn't watch TV, doesn't like social media. Packy helps run a YouTube channel that has over 200,000 followers. He's kind of the social glue of the group, referred to as the house. And he told me yesterday he is one of those guys who wants to interact with the crowd because if they're having fun and he's having fun, they feed off each other, and he feels like he ends up bowling better. So it's interesting to see these two compete against each other here.
Second frame for Robarge, another strike.
I think it's really interesting how different these two players, whilst both being left-handed, are attacking the lane. Spencer still going with the high, hard one, really hoping to get the ball to slow down using the cover and the weight block of that ball, where Packy's kind of further right. He's got something a little shinier in his hand. He wants to see a little slower ball speed and more angle down lane.
Yeah, they're both really utilizing that friction spot, but able to just do it from 2 different angles and more fitting their each personal games.
Bigger turn out of Packy. Hanrahan gives him another strike. 19.2 miles an hour. As you mentioned, the speed a little bit different between the two bowlers.
Yeah, and just a completely different shot shape. And so with my eyes, how I'm seeing the ball go through the pins, Spencer is, because he's throwing it so much straighter and faster, he's looking for the ball to kind of go through a little more higher flush. And then if he goes light, he wants to mix them up a little bit. Packy, on the other hand, with that angle, the light shot will be the slap of the 7-pin, or the high flush, he'll run over the 9-pin. Very 2 different shot shapes.
This crowd appreciating Packy, letting him be a part of his game, and he leaves the 7-pin. So Packy this week left a 7-pin 30 times, converted it every time.
Yeah, you see Packy here just miss in a little bit on this left lane. And this left lane is a troubled lane for the lefties, leaving a ringing 7.
And that's exactly what we saw out of Chris when he missed in the last match. Just didn't have the angle down lane, and Packy knew it as soon as he let it go.
So he gets the spare. And tomorrow on the CW, Max and Ellis dive into another case on the Hit Series wild cards. And playing it safe isn't really their thing. Tune in tomorrow at 8/7 Central right here on the CW.
You know, I want to take this time to point out the scores were high this week, but you can see if you don't get it right, it doesn't strike.
On cue.
Couldn't have timed it better myself. But my point being is these guys got here throwing a lot of strikes, but it wasn't because they could miss left and miss right. It wasn't the only reason. They still had to make a lot of high-quality shots because if they didn't, their ball didn't strike.
Too much entry angle, you're doing that. You're leaving a 9-pin. Not enough entry angle, you're leaving the 7-pin. So, again, yeah, it was about repetition.
And so I think that's the misguided explanation this week. And you know what? I heard a lot of the players and they talked about how high the scores were. And I think those players just missed the idea of you still had to execute.
The other thing that comes into play is a crowd, the lights, everything here on TV. You're critiqued on every single throw, and that's different than in qualifying and your elimination rounds.
Yeah, the environment's so much different set of nerves.
As he follow it up, he gets the 10 to fall, and another strike for Robarge.
Spencer got that one a little wide of target, but that's when Spencer is dangerous. When he can throw it hard and get that light mixture to strike, as you see the 10 falling late, he can really string them together.
22.3 miles per hour. So completely different speeds out of these guys who throw two-handed left hand.
Jace, you think you can still get the 22 miles an hour?
I'd need a run-up, a real long run-up.
The crowd chanting Packy. And he's going to lead the 6-pin.
So the other thing to remember is through qualifying, you bowl one game, you move pairs. And for a lot of the players, depending on where you're playing on the lane, you could be moving to another lane where there is no transition where you're playing, and so you can continue to do what you're doing. TV day? No, that doesn't happen. You follow your own transitions if you're winning games, and so the ball motion changes.
He picks up the 6 and gets the spare. We'll talk to himself a little bit there. A few of the favorites for Packy. Loves to play golf, something he's definitely appreciated as he has focused a little more on bowling. He likes that movie, Hercules. Kevin Williams, one of the guys in the house.
Yeah, you got to go look at that YouTube channel, along with Mr. Carl Sherman's YouTube channel. We have so much content out there that is just educational and entertaining in bowling. It's basically like watching your own private bowling shows at home.
Well, he's smiling. He's trailing, but he's smiling. The max scores right now 279 for Robarge and 268 for Packy.
Yeah, this was a good sign for Packy. I think he just needs to get his feet under him, get comfortable. He sees the shot. He's been dancing around the pocket. Now it's just about execution and getting a good feel.
And another strike for Robarge. Now there's different ways that we see two-handed bowling. There's a hop. There's guys that don't hop. Belmo, you really, I mean, you made this popular to the point where most of these guys would say the only reason they're a two-handed bowler is because of you. What is the right way to do it? Is there a right way?
No, absolutely not. And I think, again, another misconception about the two-handed style is no one expects a traditional player to throw it the same. I don't know why people have the expectation that two-handers are meant to throw it the same. Spencer creeps up to the line and then really bursts through it at the foul line, creates a lot of rotation, a lot of speed. I'm a little different, and that's okay.
22 miles per hour, 520 for his rev rates. Big ball there for Robarge, and he strikes. Now he's still chasing Hanrahan. Can Hanrahan catch him? And he is working on a strike. Going back into this sixth frame. And he'll leave the 7-pin.
You'd hear Packy say there, money shot. Looked like he liked this one. Solid at the line. Just the 4-pin wraps right around the 7. Again, I think he just got that ball a little in down lane. Needs to get that ball about a board left. That probably goes through the pins much better.
See, that hurts twice as much. Not only does he leave the 7-pin, but now he also allows Spencer an opportunity for a spare himself and stay in the lead.
So Saturday, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series heads to Bristol for a primetime showdown under the lights. It's short track tempers, tight racing, nonstop action. Don't miss a second of pure raw racing from Bristol. You know, something that's interesting, there's a comparison I'm making between racing and bowling. You guys are both searching for traction. They want traction with their tires and cars. You guys want traction where your ball grabs and drives into the pins. And Packy does it this time on that left leg.
Yeah, Rick, when you talk about searching for traction, Packy with the ball change there to a Brunswick alert, making that ball change because he knows he's probably going to have to strike out here to beat Spencer, and he needs to make a decision quick, and he's going to a ball that just reads the lane a little bit different, and looking the way that ball went through the pins, I'd say it was a good one.
Yeah, well, he moved a little further right, and he threw it a little further left. He didn't want to see another 7-pin, so he decided to create more angle to take that 7-pin out of play.
Big strike there for Robarge.
And Spencer's plan is, I am going to just throw it like a fireball down there, and if it doesn't go flush, I'm going to mix them all up.
Yeah, he's trying to hit that 1-2 pocket as hard as he can with as much power, just like this one. Little light, but the pins stood no chance.
He just gets out of the ball so strong. It's so aggressive, and so it's hard to ever fathom how these young kids leave anything when they do hit the pocket.
Robarge, that time, 22.1 miles an hour.
Okay, so you say these kids, people felt that way about you still do, and have for a very long time.
All right, Packy, a very uphill battle now.
Yeah, he's in the exact same boat as Chris Vi was last game. It is, I cannot miss anymore.
And he leaves the 6-pin. Now a max of 228 for Hanrahan.
So he took care of the 7-pin problem with that ball change, but because it has more angle, it is more aggressive, the 6-pin was an option if he didn't quite move into the oil enough.
He'll take care of the 6 pin. Left that 7 times during the week. Picked it up every time.
And Jace, when the scores are this high, is there a different mindset that you have to get in, thinking that you have to throw a lot of strikes, or is there a different pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. It messes with you, because if you take Packy's game for an example, and let's just pretend this was qualifying. You know, he spared 3 out of the first 7 frames, and in your head, you're like, I'm losing pin to the field.
Strike there.
And so that pressure builds, knowing, well, now I must strike out or I'm going to lose even more pins against the field. And in this one-game match against Spencer, I promise you, when he came out of that commercial break and he left that 7 pin, that's what he felt. He felt like, I can't get enough pins now.
Robarge can close the door here on Hanrahan. A strike! He gets the strike in the 9th. That 7 took a long time to fall.
Yeah, if someone was throwing a ball at 22.1 miles an hour at me, I'd fall over too.
That's when speed is your friend. It looked like there was a 7-10, and for some of us that would have stood. But yeah, when you're throwing it that fast, pins don't stand a chance.
So, Carl, it's going to be interesting to see, because he won't get another shot on that right lane, and he's left that 7 pin, that flattish 7 pin, when it doesn't quite go through the pins right. He made a ball change last game. Are we going to see another ball change next game?
Yeah, I think Spence is just going to keep dialing up the speed, trying to get that 7 pin out.
It is all done for Hanrahan, and Robarge has done it. He's knocked him out. Let's take a look at the frame of the game, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. That strike right there in the 10th does it. And now we will have a new title winner in the PBA, because Robarge going up against, as he strikes again,
Game winner.
goes up against Ryan Barnes. Both of them, Wichita State Shockers, are going for their first title, and one of them is going to win today.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see someone win a title for the first time. The emotion. Jace, can you still remember your first title? I know there's a lot of them since then.
Oh, absolutely. I'll never forget the first time that you hold a trophy on the world's biggest stage against the world's greatest players. It is going to be a very, very emotional day for both of them. No matter what happens, it will be emotional for both of them.
That did it. Yep, one more game. We saw it. Robarge is the winner of match number 3. The crowd still behind Packy as he will finish out his game. He gets a strike there. Looks up, but it's mathematically out of Packy's hand. So the championship match has number 1 seed Ryan Barnes against number 3 seed Spencer Robarge. And we will break down this championship match. Ryan Barnes looking for his first title. Will it happen in Ohio like his dad? His dad has been able to win twice in Ohio. Can Ryan do it as well? It all comes down to this. The 23-year-old will get their very first title. And as these two guys to my right have said, hoisting that trophy for the very first time is something that you will always remember. Take a look between the arrows with these two for the championship battle. Both 23 years old. 2 years a pro for Barnes, 1 year a pro for Robarge. Zeros for titles and majors. Let's hear from the number 1 seed.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan Barnes. I'm from Denton, Texas, and I'm today's number 1 seed.
And he has chosen to go first. He will start on the left lane. What's the strategy play there? What does he want to do?
Yeah, Ryan, I think he just wants to make sure he finishes on that right lane. He's absolutely destroyed this pattern all week, averaging over 250, but now it's for the title match. It's for his first win. Let's see how he starts his match.
Light in the pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he was just a little amped up on this shot. Ryan was one of the keys to success this week was his ability to go hard when he needed to, like Spencer's throwing, or curve it a little bit more. This shot got a little too amped up, coming a little light, paying maximum penalty, leaving the 8-10.
Yeah, he had this once in qualifying and was not able to convert it, and you won't get it here either. So an open frame to start for Ryan Barnes.
I will say, watching Ryan bowl all week, when he did have a shaky start, he was able to find an 8 or 9 bagger behind it nearly every other game. So even though it's a rough start, if you're going to have a rough frame, it's best to be the first.
Robarge leaves the 7.
There's that 7-pin we were talking about, Jason, where his ball isn't quite going through the pins, and Spencer really relies on mixing them up, doesn't quite do it there. The messenger doesn't connect. We kind of expected this to be an issue for Spencer.
Well, it's just transition now. He's been throwing that line now for the better half of 2 games with that ball, and yeah, he's stripping the oil away, and so there will be change. Now, the question that I had asked last game was, are we going to see a ball change? It doesn't look like there is, so he feels like he's just going to make it work.
You started listing off some of these guys that were on that 2023 championship team with Wichita State. The 2 guys that are out here right now fighting for their first title are right here in that picture. You mentioned TJ Rock, Brandon Bonta, a part of that group as well. And the 10-pin.
All right. Check, kid.
Yeah, I don't know where the 6-pin went. It's gone through the roof somewhere. I don't know where it went, but it didn't hit the 10-pin. And if you're Ryan Barnes, after an open frame, that is exactly what you're hoping to see. I'm not out of this. I'm even now if I double. And that's going to really relax Ryan, and it's unfortunate for Spencer because they were 2 relatively good shots.
And he picks up the spare.
Yeah, if you're Ryan, you couldn't have asked for a better opportunity after an open frame to start.
Well, you see the scores. The back scores 279. So as you mentioned, right back at it as we look at his arsenal.
Yeah, Ryan throwing Storm Bionic. You can see 8.0 on the hook
call
rating.
for a re-rack too, it looks like.
It looks like he just needs to.
Nope.
Okay, no re-rack here, but throwing a little stronger symmetrical ball. Chase, both of you and I have both thrown this ball. This ball, a lot of hook potential.
Yeah, and this is the ball he would want to throw when he throws it firm. It's got that stronger cover. It's got that big engine inside it. Although that was a really nice shot. The speed, much better, and the ball shaped perfectly.
See him shake his shoulders and arms out there. It's like, okay, all right.
I think Kyle called it. I think he was just overly amped in that first frame. Just threw it a little harder than he probably would have liked, and the ball never read the back of the pattern.
Yeah, I mean, bowling for your title. Bowling for any title, but let alone your first one. Got to be a little extra nerves there.
And it's dead silent. You're bowling for your first title. Now, as far as Barnes, this is his 7th television appearance. So it's not new to him, but he leaves the 10-pin. This isn't new. He has more experience than Spencer does, but still, only 7 television appearances in his career.
Yeah, both relatively new to the TV experience, although gaining that experience quickly. Both these players showing their dominance early in their careers, making shows.
Yeah, and being the number 1 seed, it's something that players who haven't been the number 1 seed before maybe aren't told is there's a lot of anxiety that builds watching the show, watching the transition of the lanes. What ball am I going to use? All of these things start popping into your head, let alone what was going on the night before when you were in bed thinking about today. What am I going to do? What's the scoring pace going to be? So it's not easy to come out as the top seed, especially when you haven't won.
Robarge strikes in the 3rd. Interesting as far as Robarge and Barnes, their teammate at Wichita State, Brandon Bonner started the season off winning the Players' Championship with a 300 game. He's actually the rep for Ryan Barnes in this game. So he said before the game, I talked to him, he said, I'm just going to try to keep him calm. Try to keep him not thinking too much about this title match.
Yes!
And a big strike there. Robarge now back on the strike train.
Great double for Spencer here in this title match, putting the pressure right back on Ryan. Absolutely packs this one. 2 flush shots. It's exactly what Spencer wants to see. And there's nerves, obviously, for Spencer. Going for his first title as well. And throwing that double up there. Again, putting the pressure on Ryan. Now, Ryan struck the last time on this lane. Just needs to repeat.
Oh, the messenger from the backside. Takes that dead pin out.
Yeah, you can see here, got this one a little down lane. And for a lot of people, that shot didn't strike. But for Ryan, that's why he led the tournament.
Taryn.
All right, I am here with USBC Hall of Famer, but today she's mom, Linda Barnes. We heard during the break, whose heart rate do you think is highest? You, Chris, or Ryan right now?
Oh, definitely mine. Definitely mine, 100%.
We were talking before, and we said it seems like Ryan felt pretty loose when he was walking over here coming into this one. Where do you feel like his mindset is at, having talked to him before this competition today?
Go. Yeah, I think he's ready to go. That right there, let's do that. Yeah, I think he's good to go. Like, he's just out here being an athlete, doing what he does.
Now, I've talked to Ryan about how much that first title would mean to him. How much does that first title mean to mom and dad today as well?
Yeah, I don't even think I can talk about it without crying about it. I'm so excited he's here.
Well, we wish the best of luck to you, Mom, and get that heart rate down, and also to Ryan, he continues this competition. Thank you for the time.
Thanks so much.
Guys?
Heart rates and emotions. That's what happens in the title match.
Get off it.
Robarge once again striking. He's building confidence with every throw.
Yeah, that's as 10 in the pit as you can get. Looks like he made the adjustment on that right lane, getting the ball to go through the pins. Jason, I think he's just giving it the business on that lane.
Yeah, and I think he's very, very comfortable with the way he's seeing his ball go through the pins, which is going to really make it easier for him to execute. Right now, what Spencer's thinking is if I can strike here, it throws, like you said earlier, all of that pressure to Ryan to keep up.
Hit.
Yes!
Another big strike for Robarge. Robarge is now in the zone. He seems like he is confident, and he feels like every ball he throws, rolls, is going to hit that pocket.
Well, this is going to be a big 2 frames. We saw Ryan make a ball change. He's gone to a ball that has a little bit more angle down lane to help him, especially on that left lane, to strike and take care of that 10-pin. If we see that same ball change on the right, which we haven't, these are pretty much going to tell the story for the tournament.
Go.
Oh. It did. A big strike there for Ryan Barnes.
You heard him say go. This is really a big break for Ryan. Gets this one in down lane. Thinks it's going to go high, but it holds its line to the pocket. All 10 back. Huge break. Now, this is the ball change that we saw for Ryan. The last frame, he went to an Ion Pro Solid. This ball is going to have a little bit more angle down lane. And when the scores are this high, you have to be aggressive. You have to make changes quick. See if Ryan can keep these strikes going.
Go. Go.
He's talking to him, and they're listening.
Let's go.
And that's the difference between the ball he was using earlier and that ball. Both those shots were probably in the same part of the pocket as the previous ball, but because of that extra angle it gives you down lane, the 6-pin just had enough energy to do its job on the 10-pin.
Mom and Dad watching on. And now, Robarge. Working on 4 strikes.
Hit.
And the 7-pin stays out.
All right, spread up.
And let's look at those max scores now. That's what Ryan had to do. He had to stay with him and hope that Spencer didn't strike out. And now there is an opportunity for the match to go either way. Spencer now needs to regroup, make the spare, and he needs to start thinking, now I need to put the pressure back on Ryan by continuing to strike.
One pin advantage now for Barnes. And a reminder after the show, make sure to head to the PBA's social media at PBA Tour for the Go Bowling post-game show presented by AMF. We will talk with the first-time title winner. Will it be Spencer or will it be Ryan? Spencer now has left an opening for Barnes. And he strikes.
I wonder, Kyle, how many times while playing for the Shockers, these two were having a little friendly bet at training, me versus you, we'll play for lunch, one game match, and here it is on the biggest stage, the exact same thing, and it can't get any closer. It's a 259 to a 258 max. This is going to be an exciting finish.
Epic between these two 23-year-olds.
Good.
He called it right out of his hand. Good. Shaking the shoulders again.
Flag banger for Ryan Barnes, the lead change. Ryan now leads by 1 pin.
See here, Ryan giving this one a little bit more angle, comes in light, mixes them up. It looks like he's taking a re-rack here on this left lane, just composing himself. He knows how big this shot is right here. He needs to set himself up for the 10th frame, keep his lead on Robarge.
Let's not forget, anything but a strike, Spencer can get up and win the tournament. If he strikes here, nothing Spencer does can prevent Ryan from potentially winning the tournament.
Go, go, go. And the messenger leaves the 10.
So far right.
You called it. Now, does Spencer capitalize on this opening?
Well, first things first, we make our spares. Right now, he's got to be thinking, I have to hit this pin first, and then let's discuss what's going to happen after that.
22 times he left the 10 pin, and he missed it twice.
Now I'm backing him in.
And he picks up the spare. So now, Robarge can close out Barnes by striking out.
We also have a potential tie game here. If Spencer spares here, they'll be identical going in to the 10th frame. So a strike here, one more in the 10th, there's your champion.
Yes! Big strike there for Spencer.
Come on.
Strike 6, and he gets his first title.
You can see him calming himself down there. No doubt, biggest shot of Spencer's career. This kid, I've known him since he was 5 years old. He loves bowling, historian of the game. There's nothing more than he wants than to call himself a PBA champion, and he can do it right here.
A child protege in bowling. As a kid, 41 300 games, 22 800 series, and he leaves the 6th pin.
That was a big miss, right? And if I'm honest, I think Spencer will be very happy to see just the 1 pin standing. That could have been anything, but because it is 47 feet of oil and the speed that he's throwing, the ball was able to push and still go very high in the pocket. Now the tables have turned yet again.
Gets the spare. Now he needs a strike to make sure that Barnes has to throw 3 strikes in the 10th frame to win this match.
Yeah, filling all 10 here is huge. If Ryan if Spencer strikes here,
forces Barnes to throw all three to win, and double 9, we can have a tie.
Get all 10, baby.
Oh, he leaves the 7-pin. 236.
And I can tell you, when you step up in the 10th needing double 9 instead of 3 strikes, there is a release of pressure. You realize, oh, I can leave a 10-pin somewhere in this final frame.
But it can't come in the first 2 balls.
It cannot come in the first 2.
So now, Ryan Barnes knows what he has to do. He has got to come up and throw a double here in the 10th frame. The first one is good.
So for me, that's now his miss. He needs to stay left of target. When he sees a little bit more shape in that ball, it is so strong. There is potential for a flat 10. But when he gets it up the lane a little more, keeps his speed a little higher, it's gone high flush every time.
He's calling for his second re-rack. The players get 2 re-racks and a timeout. We saw E.J. Tackett a week ago take a timeout before he threw his second ball in the 10th and ended up leaving a pin, losing by 1 pin. Now, Ryan Barnes needing a strike right here.
Robarge
8 pins, and now that is Spencer Robarge, the title winner.
Yeah, he tried to play the inside part. He just overthrew it left. He missed too far left. The ball couldn't get to the pocket. Spencer's your champion.
Yeah, for both these bowlers, it wasn't matter if they were going to win. It's win. Spencer taking it home today.
Spencer Robarge is the champion. He has won the Ohio Classic.
Listen, I feel for Ryan. He bowled so well all week, averaging an astounding 254 or 5, whatever it was. And I know he's going to be disappointed, but like you said, Carl, he will win out here. There is no question in my mind. But for now, it's Spencer's time.
Third career TV appearance for Spencer Robarge, and he's hoisted the trophy. What a final we have seen here in the Ohio Classic.
Yes.
Taryn, let's hear from the champion.
Spencer, I know we talked yesterday about how much you truly love, live, and breathe this sport. You have now won a PBA title. What does this mean to you?
This is everything. You dream of it when you're a kid, and you never know if it's going to happen, and you get close, and you don't get there, and you start to wonder, and man, this feels real good. I'm going to cherish this forever.
I saw you. Yeah, give him a round of applause. He deserves that. I saw you during that 10th frame hold that fan to your face, look off to the side. It seemed like you almost wanted to be anywhere but here in that moment. What was going through your head?
To be honest, I thought I'd just give it away. Ryan, people don't understand what Ryan did here this week. He bowled amazing. I mean, I bowled a couple pair away from him, and every time he threw a ball, he struck. So getting up in the 10th, knowing that he needed a double and 9, I'd already penciled in for second. So it's, he bowled amazing. I'm super proud of him for how he bowled, but I'm just so excited to be up here.
And Spencer, when you walk away today, what is the number one thing you will remember that you'll tell your kids one day, that the number one thing about this experience, this win, that you're going to take with you?
That I belong out here. Thank you. I've spent a lot of time not knowing if I belonged out here, and I made the players show and felt like I really allowed myself to feel that way. And the last 4 or 5 weeks, barring the Masters, wasn't very good, and I started to wonder a little bit. And the Masters was real good, and So I think I belong now.
Not only do you belong out here today, you belong at the very, very top. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Guys?
Thanks, Jared. All right, Kyle, what did you think? We saw two 23-year-olds go at it.
I mean, it's so awesome being able to see two kids battling for their title. Raw emotion. You saw the Spencer. So happy for him.
I was really shocked to hear him say he didn't know if he belonged, because he may be the only one in the world who thought he didn't belong out here. We knew it. Everyone else knows it. And now he finally knows he belongs out here.
His college coach, Rick Steele-Smith, said he saw him when he was 6 years old and knew he was special. Well, he's got his first title. Our PBA Tour coverage, powered by Gold Bowling, continues next Sunday on the CW at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's a Surfside PBA New York Classic from ABC Gates Bowl in Rochester, New York. For Kyle Sherman, our friend Jason Belmonte, Taryn Hatcher, and our entire CW crew, I'm Rick Allen. So long from Columbus, Ohio. You have been watching the PBA on the CW. Spencer Robarge, a champion.